Very good morning to all of you. In our previous session, we have done with array, right? One-dimensional array, two-dimensional array, multi-dimensional array, and we have seen some of the programs, right? That how we can write two for loops for the two index, I and j, and so on, right? And over there, one more thing. Here in this string, you can write yeah. Here there is a type and variable name, right? So you can even write here like type, then directly square braces, and then variable name. They both are same. Okay. So you can write in any way. Sometimes you will see such kind of syntax in the book, right? And we are using something like this generally. So don't get confused in that, right? Both are allowed. Both are the allowed. Okay. Okay. This is what we have seen. All the content figures, everything is taken from the complete reference by Herbert Schill. So I hope I'm audible and my screen is visible to you guys.
Yes.
Okay, fine. Just let me have a look. How many are present? Okay, fine. So we will start with the string today. Okay, we will start with string. As we already seen what is array, we'll start with the string. Okay. Now, you already know that string is a class, right? We have already discussed that string and string buffer. These are the two classes. One more class is there, string builder. That is also again same a kind of string buffer. There is no difference of even of the methods, built-in methods in between string buffer and string builder. So actually we are having three different classes: string, string buffer, string builder. But right now we will not worry about the string builder, right? First is a string class. Here Java will implement the string as the object of this type string class, right? Because we are having not a string as a data type, instead of that we are having string as a class, right? Once a string object has been created, it cannot be changed because the string classes are immutable. String class is immutable. Immutable means once it is assigned, you cannot change it. So say suppose if I'm giving the array size, for example, the array size kind of thing, that 5. So it will become 5 only. Then you cannot make any changes in that and you can make it from 5 to 10. No, then you have to create another object, right? Because string is immutable. And if you want some of the changes, right, to get the changeable string, so you need to use string buffer or string builder class. Getting this point, it's the most IMP MCQ I can say, right? That string class is mutable or the immutable. We can change it or we cannot change it. Okay, so the string is immutable. We cannot change further. I hope this thing is clear, right? Fine. Here I can create like this also. Just a reference variable, you can say that string, any string equals to none. So here you are creating one string object, that any string, and you are giving it as null. Or you can even create the array of strings, right? That string names is equals to new string. Here always you need to write your class name, right? That is the method to create a class name that I'll show you. Fine. So here, say suppose you are having one class A. So how you can create object for this class A, or I'll give some name so it would be better to understand. Say suppose it was example. So what you need to write, example E equals to new, and again the class name example. This is how you can create the object of any class. You already know what is class and what is object, right? In C++, how you used to create the object? Only like this, example E1, E2, E3, something like this. Yes or no? We are not using new keyword over there. But
Yes,
here
sir.
the Java syntax, yes, here as per the Java syntax, what you need to do, you have to write the class name and any object which you wish to create equals to new keyword and then again the class name. This is what the syntax for your, especially for the Java. Right? And here this term, actually, this term will automatically call constructor. You know constructor, so I can at least discuss with you, right? Though this whole things we will see in the unit 3. So don't worry if you even don't know, right? But at least we can have this normal discussion that this part will actually create the constructor, right? If I am not giving anything inside this, this is known as default constructor. If I'm passing some of the parameters like 12, so actually this will call one parameterized constructor whose value is integer, right? No, same way if I'm giving like this 10 and 20, come on. Okay, so this is what I'm passing, two parameters, right? So this is how you can give the static value, right, via constructor. Okay, and here you can take this value. If you don't want to pass the static variables, you can give over here like the names A and B, and this A and B you will take from user, right? So this is how you can pass. So that is not the topic of the discussion, but I just wanted to show you this because every time we will use such kind of thing somewhere, right? That is right. Fine. So here what I'm doing is I'm creating the array of string. Whenever you are creating the array of string, you always write whatever the data type is there. Say suppose if you are creating integer array. So what you will do, integer A is equals to new, and then you will write integer, right? Integer and size, something like this. So same way for the string, if I need to create any array, right? Say suppose this is name equals to what I'll give, new, again string, and you can give the size over here. So this is what I've done. Yes or no? I hope you are getting, right? People are coming and going, coming and going. Why can't you stay? Okay, fine. Okay. Right. So here you can even initialize the array of string, right? Just like what I was doing at the time of integer. Say suppose integer A is equals to, then I don't need to give any size, right? Instead of that, I can directly write something. So it will create that kind of array with that size. Okay, so same way I can do here for this. is equals to, I'll directly provide the values like red, green, blue, and so on. Okay, this is what I'm providing. Fine. Okay. Now the very first thing about the string class. If you are creating any string class object, just like this str, so I'll write string str is equals to new string, and I'm just giving this. So it will create the new object as well as at the same time it will call the constructor. So this is nothing but the default constructor value. This is, if you are knowing, then it's fine. If you are not knowing, then also you can skip this for right now. Okay. Now the another one, you can pass as a string object as an array of characters. That also you can pass in between this string here as a parameter. Sorry. So here you can take character name of something because you are taking character array and you are providing single character, that is Java prog. Okay. And then you are creating one new object, that is string name, str name is equals to new string, and you can pass this character array inside this. So it will create a whole string Java prog instead of single characters, because the string is nothing but the collection of different characters, right? No? Okay. So in that way you can do this. Here if I'll take in character array is equals to, and I'll provide a single value Java, say suppose only I'm giving this, right? So now I can create any object like string str is equals to new string, and instead of this default, inside this I'll pass this character array like this. Okay, so it will make a whole string as an output, that is Java, right? I mean, nothing so hard to understand, very easy topics. And that is why we have started with this, though it is having some of the concept of the class and all, but we have started this topic right now because these are the so easy terms. Here you will only learn built-in methods, that's it. What kind of built-in methods we are having in the string class, that only we will see. So it won't create any burden on you. Then again, here you can give the starting index, you can give number of characters, that also you can give. So say suppose you are having one whole character array like Java Pro, but I want from the third index only 3 characters. So what I'll be having, can anybody tell me this? Starting index is 3 and number of characters are 3. APR, yes, correct, Siraj. Good. Right? Yes, correct. Shivanand, Tanzil, Pooja. Good. So it will only take from the third index, just like your integer array, always index will start with 0. Right? So it will start with 0, means this is 0, this is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. So it will start taking the characters from this third index, and number of characters will be 1, 2, and 3. That's what I have given. Okay, so it will take only APR. So in that way also you can select the range from your character array. Okay, if I'm having a whole Java prog, right, but I want only prog, then what I need to write over here? Can anyone tell me? Again, I'm repeating my question. From this Java prog, this whole character array, I want only prog. Only prog. What I need to write over here? You can answer in chat. Yes, correct. It is 4 and 4 because I want to start my index from the 4, right? And the number of characters that I'll take, that is 4. Yes, correct. Everyone. Good. Fine. Then you are having string object that using another object. I can pass another object, right? As if you remember about the copy constructor, right? A very similar kind of thing. But right now we are not going in theory. We are just saying that if suppose I'm having this string name, one object which is created first, and I'm passing here the character array. So here my string would be what? Java Pro, right? So this same string name I'm passing to my another object string name too. So that what I can pass, no, because I want the same Java Prog only over here in another string name. So I can do that. So say suppose I'm showing you here. First I'm having this character array A, right? And then I'm creating this string str1 is equals to new string of A. This is what I'm passing. So here the string would be Java. Now I can create another object string str2, and I want same thing what previously my object has been created is having. So I'll pass over here string1, pass string1. So here I can pass one object into the another object, yes or no. Here also it is having Java. Simple. Okay, fine. Then string literals, that is also allowed. String literals are also allowed. You can either create a character array, then you can have the single character that you can pass to here as a name, or you can directly take string literal. Yeah. So you can pass directly this as Java prog. Just, I mean, a very similar like you are giving, no, integer a is equals to 5. So here 5 is nothing but integer literal, right? Same way, you can have this string str is equals to hello. So this is the way I can give the string. Here is this hello is nothing. Excuse me. This is my string literal. So I hope this is clear. Yes. Yes. Okay. Good. Fine. Then now we will start with the string operations. String operations are having a different built-in methods. You just need to use those methods, and that's it. Okay. So here a very first method, that is length. Length method will do what? I mean, some of the built-in functions I don't have to even explain and you will get the answer, right? Because some of the functions or some of the methods we have already used, or the name itself says what it will give, right? It will give you the length. So say suppose if I'm having any of this string and I'll put only dot length, then it will give me the number of characters in my string. So for that you can see over here, I've taken this program, right? And here I'm simply writing system.out.println hello.length. So here you can see they will give me 5. It will return 5. It will just return your length. Now I think you will get to know that what is the difference between this length and this length. Yes or no? This length you are using with array, and this length you are using with string. I hope this is clear. This is actually function because there would be the parenthesis at the last. So it can be said as method or you can say built-in function, right? But here we don't have any parenthesis. This you are using with the array, and this length you are using with the string. At the time of command line argument, I'll write this thing in Notepad only. at the time of command line argument, you were writing no, that inside that for loop that I is equals to 0, I is less than args dot length and I plus plus. This is what you were writing. So this length that you are using, that is with the array. And here what I'm using, any of the string dot length. And after that parenthesis, that is important. So this is the built-in function which I am using with string. I hope this is clear. Okay. Yes. Fine. Very good. Okay. So here these plus operator, what it will do? It will always do concatenation between two strings. This we have already seen, right? At the time when you were writing this system.out.println, right? And anything you will write over here, and after that you were writing plus 10 plus 9. So this was giving you 109, right? Not 19. Yes or no? Because this plus will always do concatenation. Here is the first is my string. After the string, whatever I'm writing, that all will be treated as my string only. So it will be added like hi 109. This is what they will print. Okay. So here the plus operator will always used to do concatenation between two or more strings. So if I'm writing over here Harry, right, and I'm doing that string str is equals to my name is plus my name means this one. So that will be printed, means Harry will be printed over here. So whenever I'm doing plus plus plus, it will only do the concatenation that we already know, right? We even used to write like if you want to print the value of a, b and c, right? So what you are writing in between this system.out.println, the value of a is, and then you will do plus a plus, again you will start your string, and the value of b is, then again you will simply close the string, again you will do plus, again it will do the concatenation, again you are doing, and so this thing you already know, right? There is nothing new in this. Fine. So for string concatenation, the Java compiler will convert an operand to the string whenever the other operand of the plus is a string object. So whenever because in system.out.println, generally I'm writing string first and then I'm writing something else. So whenever it is something like that, it will always be treated all the others as a string, right? And it will just do the concatenation after this plus operator. All the operands will be treated as a string object and it will be printed. But if you want some of the operation, what you need to do, you always need to do the braces. So it will be treated as, okay, this plus is only the separator and this 10 plus 9, they need to perform 19 and then it will print 19 over here, right? Otherwise not. But here again it is a plus, so that will do the concatenation. So hi 19, that will be printed. Okay, correct? Any doubt in this? No. Good. Very nice. Great, great. Fine. Then here I'm having a very first most IMP function or most IMP method, I can say, that is character at. If you remember, I said that there are no parsing methods. There are no parsing methods or anything is provided in command line argument as well as in the scanner class that next care, something like this. No, there is no such terms. Right? There are no such kind of functions like next char, right? Instead of that, what you need to do, if you want anything, you have to take it first as a string. And from that string, whatever the character you want, that you can accept via this function character at. Okay. Simply in this character at, I just need to provide the index, either 0th index, so I'll get very first character. If I want the second character, I need to give the index 1 and so on. Okay, so it will simply return you the character. That is why wherever the syntax has been asked in the exam, you just need to imagine that after running this character at, what I will get? I will get the character, no, on a particular position, on the particular index. So return type of this would be character, because we will be having so many methods. So many methods we are having. So every time you will not be able to remember the return type and all. So I am saying that you need to think in that way. Okay. So it will return the character at a specified index, and index ranges from 0 to length minus 1. If the length is 5, it will you can give the index between 0 to 4. So total 5 characters will be there. The first character of the sequence is at index 0, the next is at 1, and so on, right, for the array index. If I'm having one character ch, and now I'm taking the character ch is equals to from this string. The string is ABC, but I want a very I want the character on the first index. So what it will return me? B, right? Because A is on 0th index, B is on 1 index, and C is on 2 index, right? So simply, if you wish to see, I'll do this over here. This I'll comment. What I'll do is character ch, and ch is equals to any string I'll provide. Say suppose hello dot character at. But you have to remember, whenever there is a function, no, and some gap would be there in the words, right? At that time, that second word's first character would be capital. Okay, so this is character at function. So char, that would be in small, but A would be capital and T is small. This is what the syntax. So hello dot character at, say suppose 3 I'm giving. Okay, and then I'm simply printing system.out.println and ch. Okay, this is what I'm printing. I'll save and we'll run. What it will simply provide? L it will provide, right? If I'll give over here 0, what it will provide me? H, a very first character. Okay, so this is simple to understand, right? Character at, whatever the integer index you will give, it will return that particular character. Okay, fine. Then the next is get chars. Get chars will do what? It will copy the character from the string into the destination character array. So what you need to do in that, the syntax is what? First, it is void. It is not returning anything. It will directly store that thing into your destination array, because you are providing over here the destination array. That is why. So first is integer source beginning, integer source end. It will store into the character array, that would be your destination, and in that also from which index you want to print that, in from which index you want to store into that. Sorry, I'll correct it. So integer destination begin. This is what you need to give. So here you can check again. Source beginning means index of the first character in the string to be copied. Source end means index after the last character in the string to be copied. Destination, that will provide you destination array. And here you will give the destination beginning. So the start of offset in destination array. Now, say suppose you are having string 1 is equals to Java programming. This is what I have taken. Now I have created one character substring array. This is nothing but character array. Whenever you are creating any of the array, you need to create in this syntax only that character, any name, then square braces is equals to new, then again character, this one data type, and then the size. Now what I'm saying is string1 dot means this. From this I need to fetch some of the characters which, so string1 dot, just a second, yeah, get chars. I'm taking from the 5th index, right? From 5th to 9th. I'm giving here, I'm not giving number of characters 9, huh? Just remember this thing, starting and ending I'm giving. Okay, you need to fetch the characters between 5th index to 9th index. So 5 to 9. And it will be stored in character array which is named as substring. And here you need to provide it from 0th index. So from the 0th index, you will start to fetch, start to store your fetched characters. So what would be the output of this? Can anybody tell me? Okay. Again, read this source end. Just read this source end and let me know what will be in the output. Anyone want to change their answers? Okay, fine. So let's check. I mean, I'm not saying anybody is wrong or the correct one, right? What I'll do over here is I'll create one substring character of 10, say suppose, right? Now I just need to take one str is equals to Java programming. I'll take the same. So by that only you will get to know. Now str dot, and here now we will take this get chars function. Get chars, and in that I'll give this 5 to 9, and they need to store this in sub str, okay, and from the 0th index. This is what I'm giving. So now system.out.println, I'll print only this string, okay, sorry, substring, okay. So let's check for it. Yeah. So you can see the output, right? What they are providing, probe. So I hope now you are clear. Yes, Kirtan, Tanzil, Shivanand, and Siraj. What it is said to be here, you have to give the index after the last character. Means if I want the last character over here as my G, so index of G is what? 8. But I need to give 9. So it will take up to 9. That is why I said read this source end again. I hope now it is clear, right? Because it is already including 5th character. So we are not including first and last characters both. Okay. Instead of that, we will take a 5th character, but we will fetch till 9. So it will take up to 8. Clear this thing? Yes or no? Yes, got it. Good. Fine. So this is what about the get chars. Now here equals. Equals method very easy to understand, right? It will simply give you the string 1 and string 2 are equal or not. So it compares the invoking string to a specified object. The result is either true or false. So you can understand this will return boolean, right? It will just give you that either true or false. Both the strings are equal or not. If equal, it will return true. If not, then it will return false. So only if the argument is not the null and is a string object that will represent the same sequence of the character as your invoking object. If both the objects values are same, then and only then it will give you true, else not. It will even sensitive to your case. Okay. So say suppose what you need to do and how you need to call. Here you will take one string str1 is equals to Java. Okay. Or you can, I'll show you the difference that what is the problem. But I'll create the object right now and I'll pass over here Java. By this way also you can create the string and directly give like this. Then also it will work. Then string str2 is equals to new string and I'll give over here Java. Okay. Now I just need to check that and system.out.println that string equal, and I'll write over here str1 dot equals str2. This is what the syntax. First will be your object dot equals another object. So it will compare your string 1 and string 2. See here there is no method like this where you can write like this equals and you can write both the object inside this. No, there are no such kind of methods. So don't write like this equals string 1 and string 2. No. First would be what? Your object dot function and in bracket you are passing the another object. So it will compare string 1 and string 2. Yes or no? Getting this thing or not? Whatever I'm saying. Okay. So this is what you are doing. Just check if any error is there or not. See, what they are giving me? False. Why? Because in string 1 I have given capital J and in another string I have given small j. Okay. But many of the times it is required to know that, okay, just ignore the cases, but just let me know both the strings are true or not. Both the strings are equal or not. So for that you are having another function that is equals ignore case. So here equals ignore case. Okay, this is what the function. Now I'll again run the same program. What they are giving me? True. So can you see this? Yes or no? Right? They will simply ignore the case. Okay. In equals ignore case function, they will simply ignore capital and small mistakes, right? That capital and small cases are different. Then also they will give you true, because in that case, in both the string, it is written as Java. That is why. But if I'll change some of the string that say suppose Java 1, I've given Java 1 and now again I'm trying to run this, they will return me false because they both the strings are totally different. Okay. Yes or no? Now here again I'm showing you another thing. String str1 is equals to Java. str2 is equals to, here also in a small case, that is Java. So here if I'll again put the same statement like system.out.println, and here if I'll write only, not that ignore case and all, only equal string 1 and string 2, what it will give me, I'm just showing you. Okay, there is some problem regarding, okay, because I'm already having those names, right? So I'll just put this into the comment. Okay, now again I'll save and run. What they are giving me? False. Okay, now I'll correct to the capital. Again I'll save, and what they are giving me? True, right? So in both literal case and both in this case, like when we are creating the object, in both the way we can put this equals function, equals method. I hope this thing is clear.
Yes.
Just a single minute. I just need some urgent work to do. So just wait for 2 minutes. I'm coming back. Students, after this lecture, I mean, you are having another lecture that is 10 to 11. In that, you have to join via this link, what I've already pasted in the chat. Okay. And Neil, you can mute yourself. Neil Kanani, you can mute yourself. Right? I've already pasted the link, right? You have to join via this link. Okay. Fine. So where we were, yeah, on this equals and equals ignore case, right? In both the cases, what I have shown to you that you can take as a literal also over here as a literal, and then also you can use the string dot equals method like this. Okay. Now I would like to show you again another thing that do you know that typical thing that where you are doing that equal equals to? Do you remember that? Yes or no? So here, can we try that? First, I'll just comment this. And here we will do that thing. Okay. I'm right now just ignoring this. Okay. Here I have created object that is string 1. Here I have created object that is string 2. And here via object you have given this Java and Java. Okay, so I'll give this Java and Java. I'll just make it correct only, right? That both are having the capital J and I'm giving the string Java. And now what I'm doing is, now I'm not checking via this dot equals method. Instead of that, I'll check with my typical equal equals to operator. And I'll just make it over here, parenthesis. Okay. Done. So string 1 equal equals to string 2 or not. This is what I need to check. So I'll run this. What they are giving me? False. Why is it so? Can anybody tell me this? Yes? Anyone? It's true, yeah. But then why we are getting it false? Okay, the same thing, but we are doing with now this one. Okay, and we'll apply the same thing over here. String 1 equals to string 2 or not. Okay, again we'll save and we'll run this. What is the answer? True. Have you seen this? Have you seen this? I mean, here, if I have used literals, right? Here I'm not creating objects. Here I'm what doing? String 1 equals to string literal. String 2 equals to string literal. And here I'm checking that string 1 is equals to string 2 or not. They are giving me true. But the same thing that what I have written over here, but I am creating the objects over here, right? And if I'm taking the same thing over here, that string 1 equals to string 2 or not, they are returning false. So I just want to know the reason for this, if anybody knows. Yes? No, it is not like that the objects cannot be compared. Yes, object can be compared. And that is why via this dot equals to function, dot equals to method, we are getting true over there, right? We were getting true. Means both Java and Java are the same and they were returning true. Yeah, but via equals to, they are returning false. So what is the reason behind this? So should I tell you the reason? No, it is not like that. That equals method is for operator overloading, because in Java there is no concept of operator overloading. Right?
Excuse me, मैम मैम क्लास सेम है मैम, इस वजह से तो ऐसा नहीं होता है.
No, no, no. That is not the reason.
Ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, I have heard that strings are immutable in Java. Like,
Yeah.
is that the reason?
Here we are not changing anything, no. When there would be a problem, when I'm trying to manipulate my string, here I'm not doing any kind of manipulation. I'm not updating my string, right? Okay. So reason is what? Whenever you will be having any literal, okay, say suppose you have given string str1 is equals to Java. So whatsoever the literal you have given, that will be there in your heap pool. In your heap memory, in the pool, that Java word will be there now. So it is there as Java. And its location is something like, say, suppose 2CF19, something like this, fake. Okay, this is the memory address where string 1 variable is storing this Java. Okay, now there again I'll create string str2 is equals to Java. So what will happen? Again, it will find the word in pool. In heap pool, if already the Java named variable is there, it will not create another memory space for this Java. No, it will not create. What it will do, instead of that, only it will just redirect, or it will just point out your string to this Java. So again, this Java will be having the memory address like this only. It will not create another. So ultimately what will happen, string 1 is pointing to one location named as 2CF19, and over there only the string 2 variable is also pointing to. And there is no problem to do so. Why? Because string 1 or string 2, no one can change string 1, no, because it is immutable. That is the answer, right? No? Yeah. So there is no problem, right? Because string is the immutable, nobody can change this Java. Okay. So string 1 and string 2 both can point out to the same memory location where you have written Java. But reverse case is what? And yeah, whenever you are doing this equals to, it will always check address. I hope this thing is clear. It will always check address. So whenever we are taking literals, at that time it will check the address. So at that time, whenever I have written this Java, no, first time this Java with the string 1, it is having the same memory address where the string 2 is also pointing out, because this Java is actually in heap pool, right? So they both are having the same address, so they are giving me true with the use of equals operator. But the reverse case, when I'm using new operator means it will allocate new memory. Okay, so first time if I'll write string str is equals to new string, and if I'm writing Java, so at that time, say suppose memory location is 2CF90, and here when I'm creating another object, this one is string 1, and here I'll use string 2 equals to new string. And again I'm writing Java, though I'm writing the same thing, then also due to this new keyword, it has to create new keyword. Okay, a new space. So say suppose here the memory location is something like this, 2CF22. So by this equals operator, they are checking for the address. Okay? And here the address will be different, so that is why they are returning false. I hope this concept is clear. Still, if you are having any doubt, you can search it on Google. But I hope I have solved, and I've solved that doubt in the correct way. Any doubt? Clear? Very good. Very nice. Fine. So in the MCQ exam, maybe I'll ask that with the new keyword, if I've created two objects, string 1, string 2, and then I'll give that string 1 equals to string 2. So you will write yes at that time, but actually, I mean true, but instead of that, it would be false, right? So just keep in mind that this MCQ will be there, huh? That is for sure. Okay, fine. So I have already shared that link where you need to join your very next session. Okay, please, you can write down your numbers here. Just D2D will write at the last, or else you can write down in any manners for right now, because you are only having 2 minutes. That is why. Just D2D will write their number at the last and mention D2D. So I'll not do any mistake in series. Fine. So that's all from my side for today. Thank you. You can write down your number and you may leave the meet. Hurry up. Vishnu, Shreya, Kevin, Sachin. Please write down your number and you may leave the meet.